Hello. Good evening. How are you all? I am in my lounge today, freshly cleaned lounge. So I thought I'd invite you in, and I have my little helper here today, who doesn't want to go with his dad. So he's watching. What are you watching? Cars. So I hope it's not too loud. I might turn it down a little bit while I talk to people. Let me just turn that down a bit. Just a little. You look tired, Sally.
Yeah. Right, no.
You want nana? We'll do nana in a bit. So, I don't know if you saw I'm always getting the lights glimmering in my glasses. I don't know whether you saw the article I posted uh, earlier this week about how people spend so much time being sedentary, and they should get out and exercise. And there was also an article about how people who exercise end up being the most sedentary because they do their exercise and then they think they've done as much as they need to and sit around more than other people. So I thought what I'd show you tonight is about how you can still have movement when you are sitting down in the evening and watching TV. And seeing as we're getting into autumn and the night's closing in, and we're going to have, it gets dark about 3 or something horrendous, doesn't it? I always forget. We're going to be spending a lot more time indoors. I thought I'd show you how you can move more even when you are vegging out in front of the telly, or in fact reading a book. Yeah, so yeah, we get told as kids, don't we, to keep still, sit still, stop fidgeting, don't move so much. And we end up learning how to find a position that we can sit in for as long as possible. It's a bit like ergonomics at offices, where they set you up so you can sit in your chair for as long as possible with least likelihood of getting aches and pains. So the key here really is that your body gets uncomfortable in order to tell you to move, so that you don't end up sitting in the same position all the time. So actually what we need to do is encourage movement and fidgeting around. And it can be quite hard to get back into the habit of moving. So I thought I'd show you a few things that you can do, and I can enlarge on that as time goes on. So let me set this down. So to help you get into more movement, can you see me okay there? There's loads of stuff down the bottom. Can you see me all right? I don't know if you've got one of these. It's really flat, isn't it? Was this kind of shape. I don't know what they call them. This is something I had from massaging. It was a bolster to put under people's knees, interestingly enough, and that's a whole nother subject that I'd like to talk about at some point, about bolstering knees when you're on your back. So remind me at some point. So yes, things like this, cushions, blankets. If you've got a half dome is handy. Taking this in? Yeah. Which will all help to prop you up and bolster you. So the first thing is key is to get off your sofa and get onto the floor. Sitting on your sofa, it encourages you to slouch backwards. It encourages you to tuck your pelvis under and for you to sit on your sacrum. And it is really, really hard to sit in an aligned position, or an aligned position on one of those things. It's really hard. We got rid of our sofas a couple of years ago when you were little, weren't you? You were about 6 months old when we got rid of the sofas, and and it's been really hard. Look at your little curve. Ah. So we're going to show people how to sit on the floor, Sullivan. You showing them? Well, as you can see, when you're two, you do all sorts of movements, and it's been quite fun, quite an education to watch Sullivan. now I know more about movement to see what the things he does. So let me just see if I can, if I sit further back, hopefully you can hear me. Do you want to come and sit round here, Sally? So here's a way to move. You know, one of the other things is about finding different ways to move around. So sitting. So very good. So you can sit kneeling, obviously. If you take a half dome or a cushion, you can slide it between your legs, and it's easier for you to sit with your pelvis in alignment. Do you remember how we spoke? How we spoke about needing to have your pelvis sitting on your sits bones. So you are gorgeous. So sitting this way is good. I'm not going to worry too much about sitting in alignment. You know, I could talk to you about how your knees need to be and how your feet need to be, but let's just concentrate on getting more movement. So you've got kneeling, you've got sitting with your legs stretched out. Look at this, people can see something. And again, you can bolster. You can bolster yourself so you've got your legs stretched out in front of you. From here, put it there where it's not wet. From here you could go into a cross-legged position. You could come into one leg, one knee up, one leg straight. You could even do a bit of a stretch. Put that leg across and take a turn and do a bit of a spinal stretch. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And same the other way. You work out how to do it, that's the way. You got it. Look at you. Oh no! What else have we got? We've got squatting, obviously. You can come into a squat. If you need to, you can prop something up under your heels so that you can be in a comfortable squat. Again, we're not too worried. If you've got pelvic floor issues, probably avoid a squat at this stage, and just because there's lots of different ways to squat, and some are going to create more pressure on your pelvic floor than others. So pelvic floor issues and maybe diastasis recti, this might be one to avoid for a long term. What else? Other things you can do, obviously, are to come into your psoas release that we did the other day. How was that, by the way? Did you enjoy that? So we're gonna. Are you gonna lay down? We're gonna lay down. So come this side.
No. Okay.
So from your psoas release, obviously you can prop yourself up a little bit. You can have your legs up. You can have your legs flat. You can bring your legs into the cobbler position. So I've got the soles of my feet together. You can come into, if you lay the ankle of one foot over the knee, you're doing a little bit of I'll show you on this side, what we call the number 4 stretch, which helps stretch the piriformis, which will help with sciatica. Look at you doing it as well. Wow. I don't know whether you can see the cuteness that's going on that side.
Okay.
You can cross your legs. You know, you can do anything you want really. From here you could do, I don't know if we've done the strap stretch. You going that side?
Yeah. See?
Okay. So they can see.
Yeah.
If you put it that way and then lay down, then they can see you in there. Look. Come on then, show them. How did you put your leg across like that? Lovely. Super. You can do your the spinal stretch we did while you're watching telly. That's a great one to do. I was saying about the strap stretch. The strap stretch is where you put like a yoga strap or belt over your leg and you're stretching your hamstrings. You could do what Sullivan's doing. That's a really good stretch. At this point, there is no bad way to sit. Every way is good. The idea is that you're moving a little bit and changing position. That's all right. You can leave that there.
Also,
Huh?
no, no.
Oh no, leave it on the side there. It's easier. So the idea is that you keep moving. You can come onto your front and lay on your front to watch telly. Yep, you can lay on your front. From here you've got things where you can bring your legs back and you're stretching your quadriceps with that stretch.
Me.
Yep, you're doing it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My nose.
You can come onto hands and knees even and be doing, did we talk about the one boy push up? You've got that one that you can do. So there's all sorts of things you can do. If you're really tired, just getting into that psoas stretch and just staying in that position for as long as possible is going to do you huge amounts of benefits. So I think we're going to leave it there. Do have a play tonight. Tell me how many different ways you manage to sit during the night. Again, this doesn't have to be set a timer and every 5 minutes change position. You're just going to start checking in with your body and thinking, oh, I feel like I might need to change position, or my knees are feeling a bit crampy, or my feet, I'll get up and I'll change position and suddenly start having permission to move, rather than thinking you've got to stay in the same position again. So I hope you've enjoyed.
My nose. Me.
I hope you've enjoyed.
My nose. No, Mama.
I hope you've enjoyed two of us tonight helping you out, and I will see you next week. Say goodbye. Say bye bye to them. That's it. Wave. I can't see you waving. Ah. Bye. Speak to you soon.